Okay, so if day one of the India AI Impact Summit was all about the big show, the glitz and glamour, then day two, well, that's when they showed up with the money. And we're not talking about just some money. We're talking about the day India put a massive, and I mean massive, $217 billion bet on its AI future. So let's break down what that incredible number actually means.
So picture this. It's February 17th, 2026. All that initial pageantry of the summit, it's over. The big speeches are done. Now it's time for the real work to begin. You could feel the mood in New Delhi just shift. It went from talking about what might be possible to what's actually going to get done. And boy, did it start with some absolutely mind-blowing financial commitments.
All right, and here's the first bombshell. You ready for this? During a press briefing that afternoon, the IT minister, Ashwini Vaishnav, he just casually drops this number, $200 billion. Yeah, that's billion with a B. And all of it, it's committed to building out India's core AI infrastructure. Just take a second and let that sink in. 200 billion.
And as if that wasn't already enough to make your jaw hit the floor, he immediately followed it up with this one. Bam! Another $17 billion, this time pledged specifically for venture capital funding. So when you add it all up, we're talking about a combined total of $217 billion. Look, this isn't just an investment, right? This is a huge declaration of intent.
And I think this quote here really just says it all. It nails the feeling in the room. The source material put it perfectly. That is not a typo. That is India's AI moment arriving in capital letters. I mean, come on. This wasn't some quiet little announcement. It was a thunderclap, basically signaling that India sees this as the moment, its definitive AI moment. So the big question is, right, where in the world does $217 billion actually go? Well, the answer is it goes into something absolutely foundational. We're talking about building a massive nationwide AI backbone. And this next part, I think, brilliantly illustrates the core strategy. They're calling it AI's UPI. Now, if you're familiar with India's UPI system for digital payments, you know just how revolutionary that was. So this analogy, it's super powerful. The goal is basically the same: create a common, trusted AI platform that literally everyone, from a tiny startup to a farmer in a remote village, can plug into and build on top of. It's all about democratizing access, not just keeping it in the hands of the big players. Okay, but to power a platform like that, you need one thing above all else: raw computing power. And this is where the public sector is making its big push. India is adding 20,000 more GPUs to its infrastructure. That brings the national total to over 58,000 GPUs. And this is a huge, huge strategic move. Why? Because it's about having your own sovereign capacity to build and train your own models, so you're not just a consumer of AI built somewhere else. And get this, it's not just the government stepping up. Check out this number from the private sector. The Adani Group is pledging $100 billion. That's almost half of the entire infrastructure commitment we just talked about. And they're going to use it to build AI data centers powered by renewable energy. I mean, this is just massive. It tackles that huge energy problem that AI has head on, and it could position India as a potential green AI hub. Super smart. All right, so the infrastructure plan is obviously incredibly ambitious. But what's actually being built on top of it? Well, the summit also gave us a look at some really tangible, made-in-India AI that's already starting to take shape. And man, we saw a whole flurry of exciting announcements. You had Infosys partnering with Anthropic to bring the super powerful Claude models to Indian businesses. Then there was Sarvam AI, a homegrown startup, teasing their own AI smart glasses called Ka UPI. And Goinyani AI launched this really groundbreaking voice model specifically for Indian languages. See, this isn't just talk, right? This is a maturing ecosystem in action, and we're seeing the results. Okay, let's zoom in on that Gnani.ai announcement for a second, because this is a really big deal. Here's why. Most voice systems you use today, what do? They take your speech, convert it to text, figure out what to do with the text, and then convert it back into speech. It's a two-step process. But in your VoiceOS, it works completely differently. It processes the audio directly. It's a true voice-to-voice model. That is a major technological leap, especially when you're trying to navigate the incredible complexity of India's many, many languages.
Now, look, all this high-level tech and these huge piles of money, it's all very impressive. But what's the ultimate goal here? Well, as they presented it at the summit, it's all about connecting this back to the people. It's about democratizing this new digital intelligence for absolutely everyone. And we saw some really fantastic examples of this in action. For instance, there was the Tata Bharat UVI hackathon. Get this. 2,000 students, many of them with zero engineering background, built real AI apps in just 75 minutes. Amazing. We also saw Sabasar, which is an AI tool designed to bring more transparency to village-level governance. And of course, Infosys is pushing this massive AI skilling initiative across the country. I mean, this is where the rubber really meets the road, right? Translating big policy into real grassroots impact. Okay, but amidst all of this incredible optimism and these just giant numbers, there was also a much-needed dose of reality. The summit wasn't just a hype fest. A really critical question about the actual path forward started to bubble up. And that reality check, it came from one of the absolute titans of Indian tech, Nandan Nilekani from Infosys. And his quote here is just so powerful. He's basically saying, look, the AI models, their performance is going up and up, but our progress in actually implementing them isn't really there, because implementing this is hard stuff. It's a really sobering but absolutely essential point to make. And, ironically, the proof of what Nilekani was warning about, that hard stuff, was right there at the summit itself. Day one was, frankly, a bit of a logistical mess. It was chaos. There was severe overcrowding because they had over 300,000 registrations. Can you believe it? Some exhibitors were literally locked out of their own booths. It got so bad the government had to come out and publicly apologize for it all. It's a small thing, maybe, but it's such a powerful example of that gap between a grand vision and the messy reality of on-the-ground execution. So this really brings us to the central question that's hanging over all of India's AI ambitions, the blueprint. It's ambitious, it's bold, and there is a river of money flowing in to make it happen. But can the hard, messy, difficult work of implementation actually keep pace with the incredible soaring performance of the AI models themselves? That, right there, is the multi-billion-dollar question that is going to define India's entire AI journey from this point forward.